This is the Old Musician's Blog, number 65. My social media feeds today have all been full of positive articles about the cures and uses of marijuana. This plant is finally coming into the mainstream of the world thought process, and the plant itself has an influence and agenda. Commercially, they seem to have latched onto the idea that this is something that should be smoked, because that's what people have been doing for so long, and it has those immediate effects that it has when people smoke it. And yet, there are other ways of consuming the plant that have very beneficial and positive effects. Today, there were studies that talked about THC's ability to limit the production of amyloid plaques, which is a known cause of Alzheimer's and dementia. Whether it can reverse it or not, maybe it can. These tests have still to be done. Another article talked about the plants, hemp and marijuana plants' ability to transform radioactive and heavy metal materials in the soil back to a reasonable level, to help move the soil back to its original levels, and can be used for spills. Also, the industrial uses of hemp are so multitude that one can hardly even begin the list of positive uses that would be better uses than the trees, for instance, that we use for tissues and toilet paper and writing paper, and all of these bulk uses of the fibers that hemp can clean the earth while it's producing 3 crops a year, I read in one situation. Also, it's had very positive effects for people who have the dreaded diseases of cancer, and these have killed so many people. And while I'm a longevity advocate and believe that aging should be considered a disease, and that these degenerative diseases that kill so many people on Earth, the cancers and the heart attacks and these kinds of things, it seems that and that solving the problem of a death as a disease, and preparing people for much longer lifespans, this will cure these degenerative diseases. In the meantime, whatever relieves the suffering and the symptoms and helps people with a cure must be looked into. These are just so obvious low-hanging fruits for the world to grapple with. And so I was glad to see all of these articles, and I curated them and put them together into a Steemit article with some short quotes and some commentary, I think that is considered on Steemit an original post, and of course then I have my signatures and other ideas that I'm working with on that platform, and I find that a very interesting platform to work on because I don't have to grapple with the opinions so much of people that I know, and probably I shouldn't worry so much because most people are worried about their own lives, and so what I do has, I don't know if it has any consequence or not, but I'm offering myself, my ideas, my opinions, my persona, my viewpoint, my view to the internet self-replica that we all create as individuals with our interaction with the network. And this is, this is adding the human component to the network's emergent awakening, which I suppose that might be a controversial idea to some, or a new idea, or something where they say, oh, what's he's been smoking? And I tell you, I don't smoke anything if I can help it. I spent my time with smoke, and I'm not interested in smoking, but a small amount of edible green lady weed is been very beneficial for me personally. As a musician, I grapple with the problems of repetitive behaviors, and as most musicians and many other people in the world, and I was having certain symptoms of stress in my lower forearms and twitching in my hands, which obviously are a distressing predicament for anyone's development, and causes one to look toward the downhill slope of mortality. And the Green Lady every day on a regular basis has eliminated that completely. This is given me pause to consider this in a new way. And I find that the consumption of the Green Lady in the cookies that my wife and I make out of the wonderful plants that were gifted to us last year and that we grew. This a small piece of that on a daily basis, or sometimes through the day, small amounts, has leveled out and caused me to enter into a very creative space in my life, and I'm very happy about that. And am I addicted? Certainly, like the way I'm addicted to food and I'm addicted to air. Yes, I consider it a symbiosis of the life forms on Earth. Definitely worth looking into.